Hi there, welcome to LSAT Daily. I'm Josh Mansfield, a teacher with the Demon, and with me is Nathan Fox, one of the founders of lsatdemon.com and the weekly podcast Thinking LSAT. Nate, our email today comes from Callie with the subject of structuring study time and then parentheses, high scorer.
Callie says, I'm feeling very lost at the moment trying to decide how to structure my studying. I have a lot of free time and want to be devoting 3 to 4 hours of studying while I can, but I often feel like I'm not fully using my time like I should be. I took 2 diagnostic LSATs, never having looked at the test before, and scored a 172. Wow. Okay. I want to say that's literally the highest diagnostic score I've ever heard. So my short answer is, what? Why are you even worrying about this? Just sign up for the damn test and start taking it, because you don't have a lot of upside here.
Yeah.
But let's see. Maybe there's more to it. I decided to start studying in December to take the February LSAT, which I know is a short timeline, but I figured I didn't have all that much improvement I needed to do. True.
Mm-hmm.
I only discovered the Demon about a month ago and have been having trouble structuring my studying. I've been trying to stay away from full-length tests since my scores have been in the 168 to 170 range, which was discouraging.
Read the next sentence too, because something's not computing with the next sentence.
However, I don't know if timed sections are the best thing to be focusing on, since I typically miss 1, maybe 2 questions and don't have that much to review. Which that's a good thing, not a bad thing.
Right, but missing 1.5 questions per section would not score you a 168.
Right. So she's doing something different on her full test than she's doing on the
I think so.
timed sections, yeah. She says, is it better for me to focus on drilling high-level LR questions only? I say, absolutely not to that. I'm just feeling lost on what direction I should go in. Thank you so much. From a very stressed out first-time LSATer signed up for the February test, exclamation point. All right, look, Callie, calm down. Take a deep breath. You're born on third base, and also the bases are loaded, and there's 3 balls, no strikes to the batter, and there's no outs, and your team is up by 18 runs already, and like this is there's no way that you could possibly not kill this. You're good.
Yeah.
If you only focus on drilling high level LR questions, you're going to get the impression that the LSAT is much harder than it actually is. And you know, from where you started with a diagnostic of 172, you know that the LSAT is easy for you. And that's because it is easy for people who are good readers and who take their time and just focus on figuring it out. The LSAT is actually easy. Right now, you're creating this stress for yourself. You know, like as indicated by the fact that when you do a time section, you only miss 1 or 2. And if you just did that 3 or 4 sections in a row, you would have a 170 something on a test. But for some reason, when you do a full test, you build it up to this big pressure filled thing, and you probably rush, you insist on perfection, you just make too big a deal out of it. And that's where the 168 comes from. Not that that's objectively a bad score. But it is bad.
It's a relatively bad score
for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say though, I mean, I want to double down on one thing. When you're doing those time sections and you're only missing 1 or 2, that's great. I mean, even better would be only missing 0 or 1. But the 1 or 2 that you do miss, I mean, those are high value questions for you to review. And it's funny, I've just never heard anybody say that before. Oh, it's a bad thing that I don't have that much to review. No, you have practiced doing well.
Yeah.
Like, I never practiced golf, but if I were to practice golf, if I went to the putting green and like made a whole bunch of 6-footers in a row, that's not a bad thing. It's not
No.
like, oh wow, that was a bad practice session because I made them all. No, that's a great practice section or practice
Right.
session because you practiced success.
Yeah.
What do you want to say to Callie?
I've got two things for Callie.
Okay.
First off, I think Callie is giving this impression that she can only review questions that she misses. And I think that's not the right attitude.
Good point.
You are going to have questions that you're going to find the right answer, but you're not going to be sure why D was wrong, for example.
Yep.
Go review that. You're going to find one that you eliminated all 4 wrong answers, but you're not 100% certain why the right answer solves the problem. Go review that question. Review is not explicitly or exclusively reserved for questions that you miss. Review is an opportunity to ensure that you understood what the argument of the passage, if there was one, the problems that argument made, what the question was asking you to accomplish, why the right answer was right, and why all 4 wrong answers were wrong. And if you don't have you don't need to have all those answers right in the moment, right? If you find the right answer, but you're not 100% sure why D's not right, but you know B is, pick it and move on. I don't need you to
absolutely
litigate that right now.
You don't need to teach an LSAT class while the timer is still running. That's for later. That's for review.
But for review, you better be able to teach an LSAT class for every single question in that section. So that would be the first thing that I say.
Yeah, if you're trying to score 175 like Callie.
Right, exactly. The second piece of advice I'd give to Callie is that you have emailed in, and I don't want Callie to feel too bad because this is a common problem and it's a common style of question that we get a lot. But you've emailed in and gotten your email on this podcast for advice about how to study. This isn't going to make you better at the LSAT. We're telling you how to get out of your own way, but you are focused on the wrong thing. And I tell some students who really have a hard time getting out of their own way on their study schedule, I tell them to go to a randomizer website or get a wheel or a dice or whatever. You have drilling, you have time sections, and you have a practice test. And you sit down and you spin your wheel, and whatever it pops up, you just start doing questions. Because they're so obsessed with, well, how do I spend my 3 hours? At what point, do I need to do a time section? Where should that time section come from? Should it be an early test or a later test? How much time should I spend reviewing? And it's every minute that you give away your focus, your attention, your brain power to how you should be structuring study time is all of those things that you could be dedicating to getting better at the LSAT. So spin a wheel, sit down, and do a question. I don't care the format.
Just make sure that you thoroughly review
and then
every mistake and any question that you struggle with at all. Anytime where you get it to a 50-50 and you get it right, well then go back and look at that one. 3 to 4 hours of studying is more than enough. I don't think you need to do 3 to 4 hours of studying, Callie.
I think that's too many.
You're already registered for February. I think you should also register for April and maybe even June as well, because you're somebody who is capable of spinning out into anxiety for no reason. So having April and June on the calendar as backups that you're committed to, like real backups, I think would be good for you. Maybe take some stress out of the process.
Yeah. And
anything more for Callie? Enjoy
third base because you're in great shape.
I mean, you're killing it so hard, Callie. You don't even realize how good you have it. I think you're going to just totally crush this. It really just doesn't boil down to something very complicated, though. It's one question at a time. Review all of your mistakes.
Yep.
You got this. Email daily@lsatdemon.com if you would like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.